Hello artists, Miss Maggie here. Have you ever read the book The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds? In that book, the young artist Vashti is in art class and she just feels like she can't make anything until the teacher says, well, just make some kind of mark. She does, and the teacher says, sign it. And after that, Vashti realizes that she really is an artist. She can make big dots and little dots and red dots and blue dots and big dots and little dots, and it is just amazing. I know that some of you probably have days where you feel like I'm not an artist, but you know what? You are. You just gotta make a dot and then keep going, and you will find that creative energy inside of you. Today, we are going to start with some dots. Other famous artists, such as Vasily Kandinsky, also made art using dots. But we're going to do even more. We're going to use warm colors and cool colors, and then even weave those dots together. Isn't this going to be amazing? But don't worry, we're starting with the dots. So, what supplies are we going to need to begin with? Well, you're going to need 2 pieces of drawing paper. Those 2 smaller pieces are perfect because we're going to do 2 types of dots. You're going to need a paper towel and our oil pastels. And so that's all we need for the first part. But you're going to want a couple more supplies on hand for the second part. For that, you'll want a pencil, ruler, scissors, and some glue. Glue stick is fine. If white glue is what you have, that works too. And a larger piece of construction paper. Black if you've got it, a different color if you don't. So, some sort of construction paper. So, to begin with, again, 2 pieces of drawing paper. Oh, we do need those scissors early on, actually. Scissors, oil pastels, paper towel, and then later, pencil, ruler, glue, and construction paper. Go get those supplies and meet me right back here. So one thing we need to do with our paper before we begin is that these 2 pieces, they're rectangles. We need to make them squares. Watch how I'm going to line them up and create square pieces of paper. I'm going to take one like this, vertical, and one horizontal. And if I overlap them like that, then I know what parts to cut off. And I can make a mark here, and I can make a mark here, and snip, and I have 2 squares. I'll show you that again. Take one paper, take the other, and overlap it the other way. Make sure those corners are lined up, and then see this line right here? Whoop. And then I have a square. And what I can even just do is put those 2 pieces together now. See how now they're overlapped? And I'm going to cut on that line through both pieces of paper. If I do that carefully, I'll have 2 squares. And you'll have 2 extra rectangles that you can make whatever sort of art out of you want to. Perhaps you have more ideas for more dots. But when I'm cutting, my focus is on the cutting, so I stay on the line, and yes, I have my 2 squares now. So those are going to be my 2 dots for today, and these, you can do whatever you want with them. Okay, so I have my 2 squares here. Each one is going to be its own dot artwork, and then we will weave the 2 together. Let's try something neat with how we use our colors on the dots. We have 2 different types of colors that we are going to use today. Warm colors and cool colors. Look at your oil pastels and decide which colors are warm. Look at your oil pastels and decide which colors are warm. Maybe they remind you of a hot desert or the sun or fire. Think of the colors that you see in a fire. Red, oranges, yellows. Those are our warm colors. Pull out all your warm colors into one group. How do you feel when you look at those colors? Now, think, if those are your warm colors, what would be your cool colors? Greens, blues, and purples would be your cool colors. Pull out those colors and put them into another group. Do we do something with our browns and blacks and whites today? Not really. Let those colors take a break today and use our red, oranges, and yellows, our warm colors, and our green, blues, and purples, our cool colors. How do you feel when you look at those cool colors? Pretty neat how these colors look together versus how those colors look together. That's what we're going to play with. So I'm going to get those right here so that I can have them on hand. Move that out of the way, and I have my 2 dots. So you can do these dots any way you want, as long as it's warm on one, cool on the other, and let's fill the whole thing. But, where do I start? Well, start with a dot. Okay? Or it could be a dot. Like this. Any way you want. Just keep adding to it. Ooh, I like that. And I think I need some yellow. My yellow is broken. Remember, is this the warm dot or the cool dot that I'm doing? I am using warm colors. And they blend really nicely together. Ooh, look at how that yellow is blending with that orange. I think I need more of my light orange in there. And I'm going to have that go around. Oh, wow, look at this interesting dot that I am doing. How is yours coming along? How is your warm dot? What does it remind you of? Mine, it's a little bit like the sun, but it's more red and orangey. Ooh, that's kind of neat. What else do I need in here? I think I want to blend it more though. I'm going to do some of my oil pastel blending here with that orange. Yeah. Oh, that looks nice. Because remember, we're filling in the whole thing. Why not? Any way you want with warm colors. Go for it. Yes. How beautiful is that? And I don't even know what I'm doing with that outside area yet, but that's for us to figure out. Sometimes with artwork, you don't know where it's going while you're doing it, and sometimes you have a really strong idea. Both are fine. Different artworks are different journeys. Ooh, I like how it's turning from a yellow to an orange to a red there. And then I've got that little bit of orange from before, but I think I want it to turn yellow again here. And sometimes when an oil pastel is broken, it's even more fun to use. See, I'm using the side of it. Ooh, and look how it is coming around there, catching those colors. Oh my, it looks like a painting, even though I'm doing oil pastels. Ooh, Wassily Kandinsky, move on over. We are making some beautiful dots. Oh, wow. Okay, now what do I want to do on the outside part? Do I want it orange? Do I want it red? More yellow? I think I'm going to do some orange. And I'm going to go right off the edge. Oh, is this one of those situations where a scrap paper to cover your table might be useful? I think so. I've got one here. If you don't have one, I want to go get one. Because that way I can go right off the edge and I don't have to worry. And if you didn't have one, you're like, I don't know where one is. Remember, we cut off some little pieces. You could even stick those under and use it. Or you can get some other scrap and make some other art with those later. Up to you. Oh, wow. Yes, I like this. Take your time. Fill it in. If I'm going too fast, you can always stop the video or replay a part because it's really nice to just breathe and relax while you're making art, isn't it? You get to put your ideas in and flow with it. See what discoveries you make. Like, I think that's coming together, but I want some more lines in there, sort of like dots that are bigger than the page. That's something I'm going to add there. Yeah, I think I'm just about there. That's a little small shift. And maybe I'll add a little bit more red in the corners. Up to you. You decide what you want in yours. Even though we are all using warm colors in this dot, I bet every single dot's going to look completely different, right? Because you have your own creative vision. Everyone's dot is unique. Ooh, I like that. I think I want my original dot in the center to be a little bit more in the center. Doesn't have to be, but I think I want it to. Okay, I like it. It's got a lot of crumbs, so I'm going to shake that into the trash so it doesn't get all over everything. And wow, look at that warm and wild dot. Now, let's do the cool dot. Okay, I'm going to set this aside and take out my cool colors, green, blues, and purples. Oh, yes. Let's start the same way. Make any kind of dot you want. Do you want to start with a little dot? Do you want to start with a big dot? That one's more of a blob than a circle. It's up to you. I'm going to do another dot right here. Or really it's more of a circle, but these are all going to get filled in, right? Sometimes I start more like this, but I am still going to fill it in. I don't know how it's going to turn out yet. All I know is that it's cool colors, blues, greens, and purples, and that the whole paper is going to get filled in. And I'm just going to keep looking as I go for how I want the colors to be. I'm using my oil pastels nice and thick so I get those bold colors. And ooh, I like that purple there. And I'm going to have that purple blend with that blue. Oh, that's the blue I already used. But that's fine. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Then it'll turn to that darker blue is what I'll do. It's kind of a pattern there. Purple, turquoise, purple, turquoise. And then I'll break the pattern and do the other blue. It'll blend into it. Yeah, that's going to look neat. How's yours coming? I'm curious about your ideas and yours. Wow, look at your two dots. First, let's look at your warm dot. How do you feel when you look at that dot? Come up for a word, just one word, that expresses this one. Wonderful. I look forward to hearing about your word. Now, let's look at our cool dot. Oh, wow. How does it feel to look at this one? It's different, isn't it? Come up with a word that expresses your cool dot. Now, if you look at the two of them together, they really are quite different, aren't they? Our warm colors and our cool colors. If you use warm colors in an artwork, it gives it a different feel than if you use cool colors in it. Both are beautiful. But what if we take the warm colors and the cool colors and we bring them together? This exactly is what we're going to do next. So, clean up your oil pastels. You might even want to wash your hands, and let's get out our other supplies. You'll need the pencil, ruler, scissors, glue, and in a little bit, a piece of construction paper. Okay, let's do it. So, are your hands a little cleaner now? Oil pastel gets them pretty dirty, doesn't it? This will just help a little bit for the next parts. And I've got my pencil, scissors, ruler, and glue here. And I'm going to work with my cool colored one first. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up for weaving. We are going to weave the two of them together. This one, I did a tight weave where I did cuts every ½ inch. And so it's quite a lot of work, but it looks really cool. We're going to do one that's just 1 cut per inch. And so it's a little bit simpler. But let's get this one set up. The first thing I need to do is flip it over, and I need to make a fold. This fold is going to be about a ½ inch down from the top. See the 1 inch there? See the mark there? See that halfway mark? That is what I want to use. That part right there. And so I'm going to take this part and fold it on that mark. Make sure that part's even. Oh, it's getting a little wiggly. Get it straight and press it down. There we go. I've got that fold. That's an important fold for today. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ruler on that fold. And do you see how I have it starting from 0? That's that little line right there. That part over here is extra. So right there is where my ruler starts. And then I've got the big line for 1, big line for 2, big line for 3, 4, 5, and then 6 will be right at the end. Great. Now, let's do the same thing down here. I'm going to mark it on right there. I see that that's connected. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. And so, what I want is to draw lines between these. So, see that mark there and that mark there? I've got them lined up. Put my ruler down, make a line. Put my ruler down, make a line. And if it's not perfect, your weave will still work. But this is what you want to try to do. Between mark and mark and there. Mark and mark and there. Now, see those lines there? I'm going to cut. But see where the lines stop at the fold? That part, I'm not going to cut. Okay? Let's see how we do that. Staying on my lines. Careful cutting, careful cutting right to there, careful cutting on my straight line. There you go. Looking great. Right there. Right to there. And just about there. You see how it's all one piece? But we've got those strips. Great. Now, we're going to do something similar with this one. But with our warm one, we're actually going to let it cut all the way. So we've got strips, so we got to keep track of them. But first, let's get our lines. Remember how I set it up? So right there is the end of the ruler. I'm going to put that on the very end, and then the big line by 1, the big line by 2, the big line by 3, by 4, 5, and then 6 is the end. So I've got those marks there. And then over here, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. Now, I've got a question for you. Do you like straight lines or do you like curvy lines? Because there's 2 ways you can do this. You can have perfectly straight lines across, or you can cut curvy lines. Could be neat. The weaving gets a little bit harder, but it looks cool. Okay? So, you decide. Do you want straight lines going across like that? Or do you want curvy lines like that? Both are neat. You know what? I'm going to try something I've never done before. I'm going to do straight, curvy, straight, curvy, straight, curvy. That way, we can see what they both look like. You can pick one or the other, or you can try what I'm trying. See how those are my next 2 marks? I either use the ruler to go right across, or I draw a curvy line. And then I'm going to do a ruler straight across. Do you see how you can be creative and come up with your own ideas while still getting the most important parts of the project so it works? It's pretty neat, isn't it? That's how we can use our creativity. And if something doesn't work, then it's just an opportunity to be creative some more. Okay? Great. So I've got my piece here, and I'm going to cut these pieces all the way through. But every time I cut off a piece, I need to keep track of it because they're going to be cut all the way off. So there's one part of my puzzle. And here's the next part of my puzzle. Cutting carefully on my lines. Whether it's straight or curvy, you want those cuts to be smooth. If you have jagged bits, that makes the weaving hard. Ooh, see? It still goes together. Now for the straight one, nice, smooth, straight cut. Make sure that when you're cutting, you're not talking to anyone else, you're not distracted. Stay on the line. Oh wait, not like that, like that. Yeah, there we go. Still got all the pieces. How is yours coming along? Take your time with the scissors. Do your best work. Okay, straight line to straight line. Ooh, the center of the dot. There it is. One more cut to do. And this one's straight. Okay. And our last 2 right there. Okay, I've got all of those. I'm going to put those right there. And I've got this one here. Now, it's time to weave. Have you ever woven before? We are going to take one piece and make it so that it goes right through here. The best way to do that is with a pattern. See, I've got one going up, one going down, one going up, one going down. And then I'm going to take this piece. See how it's facing the right way? I'm going to put it right in there. And then I'm going to push those down. Ooh, isn't that cool? Now, I have to do the opposite pattern. This one stays down. This one goes up. This one stays down. This one goes up. That one stays down. This one goes up. And I put the next one in. And I put it down. Oh, isn't that neat? The warm colors and the cool colors are coming together. They look so amazing next to each other. Now, let's do the next part up. Do you see how with the curved lines, it's a little more complicated? Like that one this one goes up, that one stays down, this one goes up, but I want to fold it as much as it'll go, and it wants to go sideways. That's because it's got the curve. So go with it. Fold it as much as you can without messing up the one before. So now I've got that, and I put this one in here. I'm going to push it in as much as I can without messing anything up. Make sure it's even on the edges, and then put them down. Oh, see, you gotta keep an eye on it. Yes, this is fun. How's yours coming along? Any surprises? Any challenges along the way? Stop, look at it carefully, figure out the best creative solution. Sometimes it's just being careful with the paper and finding this best spot to fold. This one's going to stay down because it already went over the top. This one's going to come up because it was under and now it's going to be over. That one's going to stay down and go under. This one's going to go over, that one's going to go under, and this one's going to go over, and I put this one on there. And it's an easy one because it's a straight one. And I put those down. Great. Okay, and then this one here. This one, see how I've got that curve there? So I'm going to go up. That one stays down. This one goes up. That one stays down. This one goes up. I'm running out of space. Let's put this one in here. Drop those down. And if your last one doesn't fit, then you can either just glue it next to it. I think I can make mine still attach just a little bit. I'm going to use those little pieces there. And sometimes things need a little help pushing in. See how I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to tap that one back in more. Tap that one back in more. And sometimes you need to tap from the side too. Everything needs to be woven tightly, and sometimes it needs a little help. See how that actually has more space there. And that one has more space. Oh, look how much more space I'm finding. And over there, I'm going to pull that one in. Great. So that's a little bit more space here. Oh, see, that's where the weaving doesn't work. That one's over. So that one's under, and that one needs to be under. And I'm going to glue this all down in a moment, and that way, because I know it wants to just fall out right now. But for now, let's just see. Does it go in the right spot? There we go. We have our whole thing together. I'm going to make it a little bit tighter the other way, but I think we've got it. Beautiful. Wow. We looked at how our warm dot looked, and we looked at how a cool dot looked. How does it feel when you wove together the warm and the cool together? What's a word that describes this new dot that you've made? The last thing is, I know it's a little fragile, so let's glue it down to your paper. If you've got a black paper, that's perfect because it's not warm or cool. It's black. But if you've got a different color construction paper, that's fine too. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide where on this paper it's gonna go. I wanna put it right in the center of it. Yeah, make sure it's nice and even. And then I'm going to flip it over, not on top of the black paper because we don't want the black paper to get messed up. And I'm gonna give it a lot of glue. Just, if it's glue stick, put that glue everywhere. If it's white glue, dot, dot, not a lot, but make sure that glue is going to go everywhere. Glue stick, you want it everywhere. There we go. And see how that last one that was barely sticking? It's gonna stay attached. For now, it's staying just attached enough. If it falls off, oh, it fell off. I'll attach it as soon as I put the rest down. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna hover, 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 decide where it goes, right there in the center, but there's more space on this side because I'm missing a piece. And it's got lots of glue on it though, so I'm gonna find that spot. It goes over, under, over, under, over, under. Make sure everything's in there. Oops, I've got a mistake. I can fix it though. There we go. I'm gonna keep that pattern going. That's my plan here. Now, before I press it all down, look one more time. Is it all in the right spot? Yes. Now, I press it down and then I see, where does it need more glue? See that spot? Needs some glue. How about that one? Anything that's sticking up, give it a little glue. That part's sticking up. That part. That part. If you put glue everywhere on the back, then the rest of everything should stay. But check those corners. Sometimes I need a little bit more glue. Make sure the glue goes where it won't be seen though. Lovely. Oh, little bit more there. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Isn't that fun? It's beautiful. Now, the last thing is just like in the book, The Dot, you're gonna sign your name. And you know what? Let's even give it a title. But sometimes that takes a little bit of thought. I'm gonna sign my name right here. If you've got a white colored pencil, that's awesome. If you've got black paper, but you know what? Pencils show up pretty well too. So I'm gonna write my name down here, small, and in the corner is how artists sign their name. So I'm gonna put Miss Maggie right there, and right here in the center below it, I'm gonna come up with my title. One way to come up with your title is, do you remember your word for your warm dot and your word for your cool dot? What if we took those two words and made them the title? For instance, my title for this one is Heat Waves, because I thought of the sun, but then I also thought of the ocean for the cool side, but heat waves sounds like a hot and sunny day too. So I kind of liked that combination. This one, I am going to call it Sun Puddle, because I thought of it like a sun, and then the blue one, the cool colored one, I felt like it was a cool pool of water, but I kind of like the sound of sun puddle. Sounds like I should use that in a poem sometime. So my best handwriting right here in the center, sun puddle, because maybe it's a cool puddle to jump into. Maybe it is a puddle that is reflecting the sunlight, so it really feels like it's its own sun. I'm not sure, but it gives me ideas, just like the art. Okay, so there's my artwork. How did yours turn out? I can't wait to see it. And finally, here is your reflection question. What did you title your artwork, and why? Okay, remember, make sure that you clean up your oil pastels, those warm colors, those cool colors, and all the rest. Make sure that you take a photo of your artwork, share it online so that I can see it, so your teacher can see it. I love seeing your artwork. And if you put it on Padlet, that's a great way that your friends can see it too. And what else? Well, we've got some other art supplies to put away. Put them away, keep them neat for next time. And when you're all done, hang up your beautiful artwork somewhere in your home so your family can see it and it'll make them happy too. Okay, can't wait to make more art with you next time. A hooey ho!